All right, everyone, I'm back. My good friend, Carly Ray Jepson. And we are here today to continue talking about air of good feelings. Okay. As a reminder, there's a North America, that's Canada, United States, and Mexico. And then you have a Central America and then a South America. Okay. Central and South America are largely colonized by European countries. Okay. Well, as Europe is kind of like fighting each other, France in particular going up against Britain, and Germany's doing things, although Germany not really involved over here. Spain has some issues. These colonies, because nobody was paying attention to them, are able to gain independence. Okay, because of all the European wars going on in the early 1800s. So colonies in Central America and South America are able to gain independence because the European countries were not really paying attention to their colonies. Okay. What is the U.S. stance on these new nations? The United States, not a huge fan. Okay. Because the United States likes things the way they are. What was the U.S. stance on these new nations? The United States likes things the way they are, and these countries becoming independent could kind of gum up the works, all right, with trade and all this sort of stuff. Okay. Incredibly hypocritical, because about 40 years prior, the United States, 17, 25, yeah, 40, 50 years prior, the United States is the one that's trying to gain independence. So very hypocritical. Classical conservatism. I just want things to stay the way they are. Let's keep an ordered society. Classical conservatism. I want things to stay the way they are. Let's keep an ordered society just like it is. Okay? Classical conservatism. I just want things to stay the way they are. All right? An ordered hierarchical society, just like we have. Monroe Doctrine. So this is during Monroe's presidency. Monroe says, hey, listen, Europe, we got the Americas now. Okay? We do not want you interfering in the affairs of the Americas from here on out. The United States in the next few years is going to sometime, like, when it benefits us, we'll follow the Monroe Doctrine. When it doesn't benefit us, we'll kind of forget it's there. Okay, and the only reason we're able to maintain the Monroe Doctrine is from help from Britain, because Britain's Navy is still super powerful. So the Monroe Doctrine says, hey, Europe, we've got the Western Hemisphere. Okay, we've got the Americas. Do not get involved in anything from here on out. Okay. Once again, the only way that they're able to enforce that is if Britain goes along with it, because the British Navy is stronger than the U.S. Navy at this point. Okay. Nationalism in the judiciary. Okay. John Marshall is going to have a loose interpretation of the Constitution. John Marshall is going to have a loose interpretation of the Constitution, which is going to give more power to the federal government. John Marshall is going to have a loose interpretation of the Constitution, and more often than not, he is going to give more power to the federal government in the Supreme Court decisions with him as the Chief Justice. Okay? What interpretation did Chief Justice John Marshall have? Loose interpretation, which benefits the federal government, okay, strengthens the federal government, okay, and pretty much like the main court decisions, so this is number 2, the main court decisions during the Marshall Court during his tenure deal with federal versus state power. The main court decisions deal with federal versus state power. And more often than not, they're going to lean towards this Marshall Court leans towards federal power. How does Marshall help the U.S. economy? Well, he strengthens the Commerce Clause. And he strengthens the Contract Clause of the Constitution. How does Marshall help the U.S. economy? He strengthens the Commerce Clause and he strengthens the Contract Clause. Both of these give more power to the federal government and overall, we'll talk about this, help to regulate the U.S. economy. Okay? That is all I have. It has been an absolute joy talking to you about the Era of Good Feelings. Carly says goodbye.